Hello, my name is Chris if you didn't already know, and welcome to my show, SmegChris Review. You know, the show that I've been neglecting for a few months. Oops. And because of that, the previous two films that I've seen, I forgot to review. Or I was just too lazy to actually do it. So I'm going to quickly go through them now. The first being Alien Romulus. I know that came out, 4 months ago? That's how long it's been. Now, I am a fan of the Alien franchise. Sort of like a love, not love so much type of relationship there. I'll do a quick rundown. Alien, love. Aliens, love. Alien 3, meh. Alien Resurrection, love. Then there's Alien vs Predator, which I actually do like, even though it gets a lot of flack. Not as much as the sequel, Requiem, that is a bag of doo-doo. The only saving grace of that film was the music by Brian Tyler. I've got the soundtrack score for it. That is so much better than the film. Honestly. Then we got the prequels, Prometheus and Alien Covenant. They were so-so. So what did I think of Alien Romulus? I thought it was a worthy entry into the series. It's set between Alien and Aliens, so it follows on from the first film. However, I found that there was a lot of illogic to the plot. First off, in the original film, they only came across one egg, brought back one face hugger, and that was it. There was no queen or anything like that. So where in Alien Romulus did they find eggs and face huggers and all that? And more convoluted was the fact that the original ship, Nostromo? Hold on, I need to do a bit of research here. It's alright, I've just had a look on my phone, I was right, Nostromo. Spoiler alert, at the end of Alien, that ship was pulverised with an explosion. Gone. Turned to dust. Space dust. So how did they find any remains of that ship and find the remains of the robot, Ash, still in his half torso shape that they renamed for some reason? I couldn't understand that part of the story. But he was still around. What? He blew up! Apart from that, I thought the film was really good. The characters were engaging and interesting, although you knew who was going to survive and who wasn't. The special effects were just amazing, and there were quite a lot of tense moments that I really enjoyed. And at least this one gave you a proper beginning, middle and end, unlike the prequels. I don't know what's been going on there. I always thought that they were going to lead to Alien, but we've yet to see that. I thoroughly enjoyed the film, and I would give it a... Oh, I forgot to make posters as well. I'm just too lazy. And just so you know, it is available on Disney Plus, so if you've got that and you want to watch it, you can. And I would recommend it. Another film I'd recommend, the other one that I saw since I last made a SmegChris review, was Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And boy, does that deliver. Out of the 3 films, it is by far the best. Honestly, from beginning to end, I had a huge grin on my face. I could feel it, my face muscles were aching. I mean, it was a nice story that went along with it. The special effects are amazing. The comedy in it was hilarious. And there's one moment that I'm sure if you've got TikTok, you've been seeing it everywhere on there, is the dance with the Robotniks. There's 2 of them, to Chemical Brothers. Push the Button, which is one of my favourite Chemical Brothers songs. Anyway, I can't speak, it's that good. But that scene, I just can't stop watching it. It is so perfect. It's daft. It's out of pocket. There is no reason for it to be in the film. But I'm glad they put it in because it's just perfect. And I love the fact that Keanu Reeves did the voice of Shadow. He was great in that role. Although there was one scene where Sonic and Shadow are fighting on the moon and all I could think was Superman 4. And we all know how bad Superman 4 was. And I'm like, how are they breathing in space? This is something I always kept saying about Superman 4. How? And then I remembered they're aliens. Of course they can. That's my logic and I'm going with it. But I have to say, I usually do a top 10 list of movies for the year. I don't think I even saw 10 movies last year. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 would be at the top. On par with Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't really know which one I prefer. So if I was to do a top 10, I'd probably put them both at first. Because Sonic the Hedgehog... You know what? No. I give Sonic the Hedgehog this, which means it's number 1. Sorry. I love that movie. It was brilliant. So now that we're all caught up, I can now do a review of the film that I watched only yesterday. I know, shock. Even I'm shook. And the film in question was Captain America: Brave New World. I know, it's had a bad write-up. It's not that bad. It's not that great either, but it's not that bad. I will start with the good stuff. Sam Wilson, played by Anthony Mackie, is a brilliant Captain America, a worthy successor, and I absolutely love his costume. It is brilliant. I dare say it's better than the original Captain America costume. Although one thing did annoy me was that Chris Evans' Captain America had a catchphrase. Anthony Mackie's doesn't. He needs a catchphrase. Sadly, because of his passing a few years ago, Senator Ross wasn't played by William Hurt, but Harrison Ford took up the mantle admirably. He was brilliant in the role. And of course there were a few other side characters that I really enjoyed. One of which was from a TV show, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and if you've not seen that you would not know who he is. That's one of my disgruntlements of this film. I'll get to that. And the film wasn't inundated with action scene after action scene. There was a lot of plot involved and a lot of dialogue, and that was interesting too, although some of it did get repeated. Again, I'm going into the bad stuff again. And we all know what happened to Ross at the end of the film. He becomes Red Hulk, okay? I know it's a spoiler, but we all know, we've seen it in the trailer. One good scene though I enjoyed was the aerial battle above the ocean with the battleships. That was just brilliant. I really enjoyed that. Oh, and one more good thing. We saw a character return that we've not seen for 15 years. But I'm not saying a word about it. You just have to watch it to find out who it was. So, my brain keeps going towards the bad stuff, so that's what I'm going to talk about now. For starters, this is basically a rehash of Captain America Civil War. It's basically the same plot. You've got this bad guy that we've never met before. He's trying to get one warring faction against another warring faction to fight. That happened in Civil War. Admittedly, in Civil War it was a lot better because you had superheroes versus superheroes. In this one it was just two countries. But at least the battle sequence was great, like I've already mentioned. Actually, right at the beginning of the film I was a little disappointed because usually we get the Marvel Studios big giant screen of characters flying around and things exploding as the words come up on the screen. Not for Brave New World, no, it was just like a 1930s reel of an old sign or some sort of Marvel Studios, and then it flashed to present day. Why doesn't Sam Wilson get a proper Marvel Studios logo at the beginning of his film? I don't get it. He deserves it. Another thing, Celestial Island. I have no idea what that is. Where's that come from? I can only assume it's from one of the movies that I've not seen yet, like Eternals or Black Panther 2. One of those. I will get around to watching them at some point because they're on Disney+. I just don't feel the need to watch them. Or I didn't until now. That's one of the things I hate about Marvel films, is you're expected to know what these other things are that derive from other movies or from TV series. I don't watch all of it, so I don't know what these things are. At least we knew things about Ross because they were showing us footage from The Incredible Hulk to remind us of who he is and where he's come from. Which is another thing that gripes me. This is not a sequel to Captain America films. This is actually a sequel to The Incredible Hulk. Honestly. I mean, I know that Captain America and the Hulk have sort of like the super serum thing going on together, but this is definitely a more direct sequel to The Incredible Hulk than it is to Captain America. I mean, we did see footage from The Incredible Hulk in this film. Just shows. But I'm just saying, that's what it feels like to me. As the final battle was happening, I kept thinking, Hulk's going to show up. Hulk's going to show up. Hulk is going to show up. No, he didn't. And so I felt like that whole final scene, even though I was wanting Hulk to show up, was still a letdown. Even if he did show up. Because it was so short. We're used to big final scenes lasting 10-15 minutes. This lasted less than 5, honestly. I mean, it wasn't all bad. The way Sam Wilson fought and won, I thought was brilliant. It was just the payoff didn't feel like it was a good payoff. Sorry, it's because it was that much of a letdown, I'm feeling let down, and I'm now letting you down with how I'm explaining it. Now I know people are saying Marvel's going downhill because of this film. It's been going downhill for a long time now. We only get good films here and there like Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, if you're thinking this is the worst Marvel film ever, try watching the third Ant-Man film. That's terrible. Really awful. I don't know why I'm whispering. Maybe I think the Marvel lords are going to come after me. What? Anyway, my overall score for Captain America Brave New World is... it's not terrible, but it's not great either. And there we go, I've finally done a review of a film that I've just recently watched. I'm going to go pass out in a moment. But before I do that, I'm going to say thank you for watching and subscribing if you have, and liking this video if you did. Until the next time, peace out. Now I can pass out. I just want to make a note. There was a couple 3 seats away from me. At one point towards the end of the film I could hear a lot of macking noises, you know. I thought they were eating something. No, they were making out. Now I'm sorry, but there's a time and a place for that, and it's not the cinema. I mean, thankfully I couldn't see it because it was dark, but I heard it, and then it went quiet, and then just as the end credits started rolling, I heard more of it, and that's when I realised what was happening. Please, not at the cinema.